What is going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana, back at you with another YouTube video. On Friday during the Pokemon anime, we were introduced to a brand new Pokemon that happened to bear a very striking resemblance to Terapagos. However, up until this point, that was basically all the information that we got. We just knew what it looked like and that it turned into Leeko's pendant. But today we have an official announcement from the Pokemon Company giving us a little bit more insight into our brand new Pokemon. So let's go ahead and hop into the details. So I'm here on the official Pokemon Scarlet and Violet website where they have an article that says, introducing a newly discovered Pokemon. A newly discovered Pokemon appears in the hidden treasures of Area 0 for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So this isn't just an anime-only Pokemon, it's gonna be in the game. Which is kind of wild that we're getting introduced to a brand new Pokemon this late into the game's release. Granted, the DLC is coming out late this year, but clearly this little guy is going to play an integral role in whatever storyline we're going to be seeing in the DLC if they're introducing it to us this early. So here in the actual article it says, this Pokemon is small in stature and not particularly strong, but when push comes to shove, it can crystallize the energy in its body to form a protective shield, which we actually already saw it do this in the anime when it used its little force field to protect Sprigatito, Liko, and itself, before shortly returning to its crystal-like state. Which the article then goes on to say, apparently it can also assume a dormant state when it feels that its life is in danger by pulling its head, limbs, and tail into its shell and making itself look like a jewel, aka like the jewel that is on Liko's pendant. Its splendid aura is reminiscent of the legendary Pokemon Terapagos, but this Pokemon's name and true nature are shrouded in mystery, which leads me to lean more towards that theory that this is some kind of pre-evolution to Terapagos, since they themselves say that it literally looks similar to it and its aura is similar, but this one is like weaker and not as strong. And I mentioned this when they first released this Pokemon via the anime, but it definitely gives me the same kind of vibe as Cubfu, who then evolves into Urshifu. But this also leads me to believe that this is probably going to have something to do with Terra Shards in order to evolve or power this guy up, because I wouldn't put it past them. We already had to collect 999 Gimmighoul coins in order to get a Golden Go, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do something like, oh, you have to collect 100 Terra Shards of each type in order to evolve this into a Terapagos. Especially because they are giving us a lot of Blissey raids lately, since they did announce yesterday a repeat of the Blissey raids that we had a couple of weeks ago that drop various Terra Shards and Experience candies in more quantities than they usually do. So why else would they be giving us so many Terra Shards? You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that I'm not right in thinking that we're gonna need like 100 of each Terra Shard, because that would quite literally be the most annoying way to evolve a Pokemon that I have ever seen. Needless to say, this guy is adorable, and he does very much so look like a crystal. But a connection that I literally made this morning when I hopped on Twitter at the crack of dawn and read this, I was like, wait a minute, it turns itself into a jewel. You know what else has a jewel on it? The Terra Hats. With eyes. So could this little turtle be what's actually causing all of the Pokemon to be able to terrestrialize? Because we can clearly see a jewel that looks like Leeko's pendant and it has eyes. And we already saw that the little turtle turns into a very similar shape in the actual anime. It obviously doesn't have eyes, but maybe that's just for dramatic effect in the game to kind of hint at the fact that this is actually a Pokemon, which people have been saying that this is a Pokemon since they like first released terrestrialization. But I feel like this statement right here, making itself look like a jewel, is almost confirming that this little guy is what's controlling all of the Pokemon that are terrestrializing and allowing them to terrestrialize. And so it also got me thinking about when you went into Area 0 and you had to defeat the Paradise Protection Protocol, because if you recall, the AI professor started to terrestrialize as well. And you were also in a room that was literally entirely made out of crystal. So what if that entire thing was this little guy's like little force field that they're talking about, and he was controlling the AI professor, since obviously they're kind of hinting at the fact that this guy controls terrestrialization, since there's little jewels on all of the Pokemon's heads with eyes that look very similar to the shape that this guy turns into. So maybe we were fighting this guy all along and we just didn't even know it. Obviously, I'm just kind of spitballing ideas, since realistically, all the information that we truly have is just in that one little paragraph, and they basically say that it's shrouded in mystery. So they're announcing the Pokemon without revealing anything about it really. But I want to know what your theories are down below in the comments. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I kindly suggest that you consider subscribing so that I can continue to make content for you guys. And if you are already subscribed and you would like another way to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but also all of my other socials so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to those of you who have joined the channel as members. I appreciate you all so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.